Lockhart Perspective. Well, hello, hello, hello. It's late at night for us here, Central Time, but I was doing some working on I was working on a pretty nice story. I might share a little of it with you, but for sure, I saw some videos that sort of disturbed me. And I really don't know what to make of it. I don't know if you guys have seen it. But they're on a couple of other platforms, and I happened to glance at them. And when I glanced at them, it just made my stomach turn. There's a whole nother side. Hey, Betty R, how you doing? You're doing a lot of good work, Betty R. There are a lot of really disturbing things that I have seen just recently, and I have to tell you that I really feel like when I hear a lot of these negative things that people are saying about other cultures and other people, it just really makes me wonder when I see videos like what I have seen just recently. Hey, Melinda and Betty, I'm gonna tell you guys some of the trash that I have seen, and I just, you know what, you guys, I just got to be real. I cannot fake the funk. I got to be real. I'm hearing a lot of people talking about reparations. I'm hearing a lot of people say that they feel like they deserve so much more, and then I watch Zeb. How you doing? I watch a couple of these videos like I watched earlier today, and then I just stumbled upon a couple of more that I got alerts for. And I tell you what, some folks, it will be the biggest mistake in the on the planet to give people more than 25 cents. I said that. I said that. It would be a mistake, James, to give people more than 25 cents. Because I'm going to tell you something. A lot of folks do not want to hear the N word. A lot of people say, well, we shouldn't say the N word, and those are not good words to say. And I venture to say they're absolutely right. They're not good words to use. But when you act like what I just saw, I don't know what other word to put to it. Savage, animal, beast, no home training, no respect. Oh my gosh, there are so many things that I could think about. And you guys know, I'm not an anti-black person. Y'all already know that. I just like the truth, and I just like what's right. Period. Right is right and wrong is wrong. And what I'm telling you right now is some of the crap that's going on in these cities like Chicago, like San Francisco, San Diego, other areas like Sacramento, Los Angeles, where people are going in just smashing and grabbing, taking stuff out of the stores. I wish that I could show you this video. I literally made a 27-minute video about it. I literally went on this other platform and made a recorded video about this garbage and showed the video. So I don't know where I'm going to put it. I don't even know where it's safe to put it anymore. I mean, I could put it on BitChute. I could put it over there, but would it get drowned by a whole bunch of other stuff? I don't know. But I had to make my commentary on it. And so what we're going to talk about right now, hey, Hal, what we're going to talk about right now is we're going to do it, the upper echelon way, because we got to be like that here. But the deal is the rampant theft that has caused stores to close. Now, see, you and I all know that this is possibly. Let me tell you what I think. I think it started out controlled. I think it started out contrived, but now they don't need no coaxing, baby, because these idiots are doing it because they have set laws or $950. You don't go to jail if it's less than $950. So what happens? You get about 10 idiots that go in the store together, all buddies. And my opinion, that's considered anything over, 5 or 6 people that are doing something wrong. That's a mob. That's a gang, in my opinion. All right. So you get all these cats and these chicks, and they walk in the store with these bags with this impunity. I mean, they start snatching stuff off the shelves with impunity. With impunity. Who else we got there? Hey, Scott NYC. And I'm gonna tell you something. I hear all these people getting upset about the word, but baby, let me tell you something. These folks over here on BitChute ain't playing at all. They say what they want to say, and they say how they feel. And I'm gonna tell you, it makes my blood boil when I see people say things and you cannot defend the people that are cutting up because they are absolutely right in their assessment. They are right to say how they feel. And when you see people cutting up like this idiot today, the video that I saw earlier today, I sat there and was amazed that there was a woman who literally ran into a car in a gas station and then was being taunted by another woman, but that's neither here nor there. And she drug a man through the gas station, hit another vehicle that was parked at the gas station, ran through the pumps, went out onto the road, and then flipped the vehicle and got out laughing as if she were on some type of wild drug. And people want us to not say anything about that. So if you look like me and that person is a couple of shades darker than me, oh, I'm not supposed to say nothing. Well, hey, the hell you say. I'm going to say what I want to say. That right there is crazy. I wish you guys could see it. You may have already seen it because it's been around Instagram and it's been on, I think it's been on YouTube on a short or so. But I tell you right now, okay, Scott. Hey, how you doing, Charisma? So to me, Maureen says, I think in California, you can't go after someone that is stealing from a store or you lose your job. I believe you just might be right because this is the disintegration of a nation and everybody has to be in on it. Everybody has to be in on it. So I'm going to show you guys the story that I'm going to read first. It's all nice and flowery. It doesn't offend anybody. It's just from a regular news article. But from this news article, I want you to understand the fullness of it. And the fullness of it is that there are going to be people who are going to be losing their jobs. There's going to be several individuals who will not be able to work. Okay. I saw this poor little guy, one of the security guards that they hired in one of those places out there, obviously in California. Oh, yes, it is, James. Most assuredly it is. He was trying his best, James, to stop these people from stealing, but he couldn't do it. And now here's how it plays. Here's what it plays into. Here's what it plays into. Lost jobs. Now, when you get a whole bunch of those kind of people who cannot get any jobs, all right, then you may as well just shut the whole city down. It is an evil purge. You may as well just shut the whole city down, y'all. Shut the whole doggone thing down. So let me give you the whole screen, as I like to do. And let's go ahead and read this story together. And then we can deduce after we've read, we can figure it out what will happen. It goes on to tell us that Walmart shuts down 4 stores in crime-ridden, dim-led Chicago. TheDailyMail.com lists all the big box shops from Macy's to Target, which have closed due to millions in losses from rampant theft. Major retailers in the United States have been forced to shut down stores due to millions of dollars in losses as rampant theft plagues big box stores across the country. This week, Walmart announced that it will shut down 4 of its stores in Chicago just weeks after America's biggest employer shuttered its only stores in Portland. It comes as shoplifting reaches alarming levels, and other large retailers, including Target, Macy's, and Best Buy, are now making good on their threats to shutter outlets if petty crime is not lowered. In 2021, retailers lost a combined $94.5 billion to shrink, a term used to describe theft and other types of inventory loss. And organized retail crime incidents soared by 26.5% in the same year, according to the 2022 National Retail Security Survey. Along with brazen daylight thefts, self-checkouts have also made it easier for people to walk away without paying for items. Progressive district attorneys in cities like Chicago, New York, Portland, and in California have also been blamed for effectively legalizing shoplifting, with either not prosecuting thefts under 950 or just letting the criminals off with a slap on the wrist. Here, dailymail.com lists all the big box stores who have been forced to close their doors after being savaged by rising theft. So, of course, we know that Walmart has decided to shut down 17 of its stores across 9 states, as their current CEO, Doug McMillon, warned in December that the theft was the highest it's ever been in the country, around the country, and if it did not slow down, stores would have to close. And the company announced on Tuesday that it would be shutting half of its Chicago stores, mostly located on the crime ridden city's south and west sides, because they are losing tens of millions each year. The stores on Stewart Avenue, South Cottage Grove Avenue, North Broadway, and West Cermak Road had not been profitable for several years, even after efforts to turn them around, according to a statement released on their website. Chicago's closings comes just after Walmart closed its last 2 stores in Portland, Oregon, at the Delta Park and East Port Plaza shopping centers in March due to significant losses. Portland is widely viewed as America's most progressive and permissive city, with crime spiraling out of control, their murders hitting an all-time high in 2022. Other Walmart stores throughout the United States, which have closed or are set to close, are in Washington on Highway 99 in Everett, in Minnesota on Shingle Creek Crossing, and in Wisconsin on West Silver Spring Drive. A store on Portage Road in Indiana and Hawaii, on Fort Street, San Mateo Boulevard in New Mexico, 99 H Street in DC, and 2 stores on Howell Mill Road and MLK Jr. Drive in Atlanta. It also closed a further 2 in Illinois on South Halstead Street and South Route 59. The big box chain has been closing a handful of stores annually in recent years, always citing the location was underperforming. And the retail behemoth is also closing stores in Illinois and Arkansas that were pick up only, and 2 neighborhood market concepts in Florida and Texas. Now, let's talk about this for a second. I'm going to come back over here and I want to say something, because here's the deal. When you consider that these stores are closing their grocery stores, those little markets that moved in when, say, for example, maybe a Publix left, or maybe a Kroger left, or if you've got Vons or something like that, still one of the bigger stores leave. Well, some of these stores move into the place. Now, when these stores move into place, that gives the groceries that they lost after the last big store left to the community. And it also gives some jobs to the community. Well, because if you're going to hire somebody, you definitely want somebody that, is near the location, over somebody who lives maybe, 15, 20 miles out. So this is going to create further food deserts. This is definitely going to create more food deserts. Now, whether or not this has been strategically done on their end as it relates to saying we've got too much strength, we've got to close, or whether it's the truth that these stores are being ravaged by idiots like what I saw there, it doesn't matter. The fact is these jobs are leaving and the grocery stores are leaving. There are people in those communities who don't have cars. Some people take public transportation. How many groceries are you going to be able to grab on the bus? How often are you going to be able to use an Uber to get back and forth if you don't have a vehicle? Now, listen, there are some cities that people don't even drive. Okay? Some people up in New York, some people decide, hey, you know what? I don't need a car. My sister lives out in the UK. She doesn't need a car. She just takes the tube everywhere she has to go. But in these particular situations, this is not going to be an easy cakewalk. Now, that's not to say that, there weren't bad people in the communities that did these things. Oh, I'm sure there were. You don't just get shrink from nowhere. Heck, being in the positions that I've been in and training some of the companies that I deal with now, I tell them the biggest people who are stealing from you are generally going to be those who are receiving, those who are coming in through receiving, those who got those bill of ladings, and those who can check off and say, well, I was supposed to get 12 boxes and I only got 4. And then the other boxes walk out the door, or they get a couple of bucks for them around the corner. No matter what the case is, this is going to be bad all across America. And somebody just said it, and I think it was Scott or James said that it's all orchestrated. It could definitely be orchestrated. Okay? Its timing is no coincidence. It was Scott NYC. Timing is no coincidence. You see that? So this is what's happening, and this is who it's going to affect. It's going to affect that grandmother who can't get around. This is going to be catastrophic. So it's all setting it up. Everything is setting it up. Meanwhile, there's so much chaos up here. We're watching all of this chaos, and yet and still normal folks who's going to the grocery stores are literally seeing slower amounts of food coming in. You're not able to find certain things. I'm telling you guys, this is a hot rump mess. But what I dislike the strongest, what I dislike the most, is how Black people allow themselves to be used in these kind of situations. Because what I just saw, with all these people running in these stores taking this stuff, I'm sorry to say it. I'm not saying it's not no white folk that do it, but I'm Black and I'm getting on us. Okay, I'm considered Black, even though y'all know I'm Native American. All right. The point is, when you see me, you don't ask me what tribe I'm from. And so you guys get what I'm saying. So the issue is, this stuff that I just got through seeing, that's us. And it's us that's running around talking about reparations. And it's us that's walking around talking about this person got their foot on my neck. And it's us that's talking about Black Lives Matter. And it's us that's doing this stuff. So I'm talking to us. Because if I don't say it and don't nobody else say it, then what's going to happen? Right is right and wrong is wrong. But I'm telling you, this stuff that people are playing into, see, what they do is they create these laws that make it easier for people to tread lightly and to go in and just take $949 worth of stuff and bounce. Why? Because somebody just made a law that said, hey, if it doesn't exceed $950, take as much as you want. Tear up the store. There are stores literally being ravaged, destroyed. POS systems being completely dismantled. Garbage and the produce and there's one idiot, I think she's abroad, and she's walking down, not that she's a broad, she's abroad. And she is, you can hear the different accents. I think maybe they're in London, but she's literally walking down the aisles and she's snatching all of the liquor, pouring all the liquor on the floor until the point that she cuts her hands, and she still keeps going. And just throwing on the lawless generation. This is a lawless generation. And there's nobody that's telling them to stop it. You got too many people running around talking about, well, I'm just going to worry about me. Yeah, you're going to worry about you until an idiot like this lady here that ran through the parking lot at the gas station hits your car and you're an innocent bystander, or like the person that she ran into when she literally flipped the vehicle that she was in, trying to get away from all the stuff that she caused at that gas station. This is lawlessness. I used to call those kids the backpack kids about 6 years ago. And the backpack kids were the kids who you saw as soon as the sun started to go down, you would see them with these backpacks on their back. You know why? Because they were not allowed in their parents' home anymore. And you found a lot of people saying, well, gee whiz, why are they putting their kids up? Because they're crazy. Because the school system has told them that they can do the opposite of what their parents say. See, once you lose control over a child, that's a mind that goes on their own. You can have 5 kids. 2 of them can be plumb gone based on whatever they've gotten themselves into, based on the people that they listen to, based on the music that they choose to listen to, based on the rebellion that's automatically bound up inside of a child's heart. That's bound up inside of a child? Yeah, it is. And so you have another human being, another individual that is easily led away by this type of crap. Live your life. Do what you want. Don't let your parents rule you. You can come here. Hey, Anonymous. You can come here and do anything that you want to do. What did you say? They've been feeding people emergency chicken nuggets because they didn't want to cut a deal with Heinz. Guess again says, there is nothing more. There is nothing more than getting rid of brick and mortar stores and facing us into a cashless society, forcing us into a cashless society, and everything we need gets delivered with a CBDC card. You see that? Absolutely right. They want everybody to just order the food off these little cards. Everybody get everything on a card. I guarantee you that's the reason why they've got all these commercials right now telling people you can raise your credit score right now. You can raise it with your rent. You can raise it with your utility bills. You know why? Because they know that it's going to be a credit score that's coming in a minute. And they want you to raise it as high as you can so that they don't have to have that much pity and that they don't have to feel that bad when everybody's credit score is too low and they end up throwing them in the gulag. It's a gulag for you. And that's why they're saying, hey, raise your credit score with this, raise your credit score with that. Oh, go ahead and do it. Do you pay your bills on time? Go ahead and raise your credit score. Since when did you ever see Experian, TransUnion, and any Equifax ever want to raise your score because you pay your rent? Now the rent is sky high. You remember what we said 3 years ago? It was 3 years ago, and I will never forget it because I won't forget that I said it because now we're living it. People who ended up having to get their leases renewed have ended up having to pay anywhere between 500 to 1,000 or more dollars more a month for a rut, for one door in and one foot out. Just walk in one door, put your next foot out the back door. That's all the space you're going to get. So with things like this that's going on right now, the orchestration and then the ignorance piece all go hand in hand. They already know. They've done enough case studies to know that all they got to do is cut a fool. Cut a fool once in public, make it a fake fool, but make it a fool nonetheless. Make a couple of laws to wrap around that fool, the actor. Then all the other ones are going to come. All the people who are weak-minded are going to follow. And that's exactly what's happening. But it's the black folk. I'm going to say it. Somebody else may, oh, you can't say it. You got to bite your tongue. I ain't biting my tongue. That's what they're doing. This is who's doing it. This is at Target. And I'm using this, and I'm only going to use it for the fact that I am definitely making sure that this is for the review of this. I'm reviewing this, and I'm telling you that this is what's going on right now. So let's see.
Walmart employee stops theft and pays for it. Walmart, please give this woman a raise. Back down memory lane. I see the happiness.
God rest her soul, but her publicists, her publishers and all her people are going to probably zap me for that piece of the song. I do not own that song. That song was by Minnie Riperton, and it was used with this particular clip. But the person is beating the holy dalitas out of this individual for holding on to the Walmart products, for preventing this person from taking the stuff. Walmart employee stops a theft and pays for it. Walmart, please give this woman a raise. Yeah, she's even getting the holy dalitas beat out of her. Ain't no, I'm sorry, baby. $7.25 is not worth it. Hey, Charlie Sigler, $7.25 is not worth it. But nonetheless, I digress. Let's keep going. So this person is trying to stop him. Now, here's the story with Target. Target revealed it lost an extraordinary $400 million in profits last November due to organized gangs of shoplifters who had been stealing merchandise from its stores. And its CFO said the company expected retail thefts to reach $600 million by the end of the year. Now, the retailer has announced it is closing 4 stores in 3 cities in the coming months. Stores on Baltimore Avenue in Maryland. Isn't that the second Maryland store? Second Baltimore store, not necessarily with Target, but another anchor store that people may go get their children's school clothes from. The good folks that go to work every day, that try to pay their bills. All right? There's another one there in Baltimore. Then they also go to, say, in Minnesota. I'm not going to read the streets, but Pennsylvania, South Washington Street in Virginia, they're all affected. All 4 smaller format stores were rolled out about 10 years ago as a way to reach customers in more urban areas, and they're going to close one day before their Mother's Day, May 13th. Although the company cited declining foot traffic as the main reason for the closures, and a spokesman for Target said, quote, "The decision to close one of our stores isn't something we take lightly," closed quote. Whew, There we go. Let's get some more in. Walgreens. Yeah, that's the story that I was talking about. I wish I could show that. It was actually a CVS, but Walgreens in mass pulled out, I believe, of some part of California. It says Walgreens has previously complained about retail shrinkage largely due to organized shoplifting last year and spent money on extra security measures, including glass panels and security guards, as preventative measures. But its chief financial officer, James Kehoe, came out earlier this year and said, maybe we cried too much last year when we were hitting numbers that were 3.5% of sales. This figure is now down to around 2.5%, and they are quite happy with where they are. High profile incidents in San Francisco where thieves were filmed walking out of the stores with armfuls of stolen goods while security guards stood helpless seem emblematic of the issues facing the retailer. And there have indeed been a number of closures, with 5 alone in San Francisco in the fall of 2021. Walgreens closed a Chicago store in January and 3 last month on Grand Avenue in Texas and South Orange Blossom Trail and South Orange Avenue in Florida. Wow. All the people that normally would get their medications there. Here goes Macy's. Macy's, shopping mall staple Macy's, is closing 4 stores in the first quarter of 2023, with malls in California, Colorado, Hawaii, and Maryland again closing. It goes on to say the closures are a part of Macy's 3-year plan to close 125 locations as an increase in organized retail crime cuts into the profits of business. I need to make this larger for you so you guys can see this, which means we'll lose our space, but we'll still have to go back a little. Okay. Its CEO, Jeff Gennady, said that it has experienced a rise in theft across its stores and that it was industry-wide. It was an industry-wide trend. These are crime levels that we have never seen before, he said. He announced the new anti-theft measures in March to target the thieves and to reduce their losses, and the company now uses radio frequency ID tags to track its inventory. Accurately track its inventory. That's those beep, 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 loud, loud, loud ones. You go to the store and the person forgets to take them off for you and you get that loud noise. Well, that's what they're saying. That's the beep, beep, beep that they get. So it has the sensors, and the department stores are already struggling due to the boom in internet shopping. Well, wait a minute. I'm going to say something about this. Don't forget to remind me to go back to the internet shopping piece. It says, and Macy's, which also owns upmarket sister rival Bloomingdale's, are keen to slash avoidable losses where possible. These are the smash and grab bums. Ain't got no job. You have nothing. Pants sagging off your rumps. Look at them. Look at them. And the mask that they made them wear during that particular time a couple of years ago didn't help the incident any at all. Hey, Lee Supernatural. I love you, y'all. That's my brother Lee. So none of this stuff helped anything. They put them on. See this cat right here in the black, right above the little silver dividers right there. Yeah, that's what they do. You go to work hard. You get up. You go to work. You pay your bills. You struggle to do that. You pay your bills. You try to make sure that you do your lights and try to make sure you get your household together. You go buy a few, little groceries here and there with your pennies, with your coins, whatever you got, whatever you've been blessed with. You try to do that. And then these idiots come in the community, do this kind of stuff, whether it is orchestrated or not. They do this kind of stuff. And then you have to drive even further, waste even more gas to get even more further away from your home. What an inconvenience, just to get the groceries and the things that you could have gotten and the items for your household, for your family that you could have gotten had this stuff not happened. And see, the bad part about it, let's talk about the orchestration piece. All right. Let's just for a minute talk about the orchestration piece. If these cats was paid $500 each to go in there and do that, they're so stupid. They don't even realize what they're doing. Probably some of them don't even come from that community. But if they did, let's just think when they ain't going to get no more of that money. Because, see, all that quick money is going to be gone pretty soon. If that's the case, let's just use this scenario. That's the scenario, right? Then what are they going to do? They're going to be the main ones coming in folks' houses. They're going to be rolling out into suburbia, into the suburban neighborhoods, because now they've learned all of this there and they feel like, hey, I can do what I want to do. Nobody's going to stop me. I was paid $500 to go in some of these stores, so I already know ain't nobody going to stop me. With impunity, they're going to be breaking in people's homes. Let me finish the story. Let me just finish the story. Let me move on because I'll be here. Look at that. They've got hammers. Look at these idiots. Look at this. Look at him. Look at this cat brazen I'm going to do it without a mask. More than a dozen looters pictured were captured on surveillance footage, stealing about $10,000 worth of merchandise from Macy's and Herald Square store in New York City. Two men, one with a bat and another with a hammer, are seen trying to bust the glass doors of the store. Why? Why? Within a matter of seconds, the group of men pictured are seen running inside the store. Now, the next one is Best Buy. Oh, let me go back to what I was going to tell you about these. What was this? Oh, gosh, somebody remind me. What was I going to say? Oh, I forgot. Okay, somebody out there remind me, and then I'll go back to it. But here we go, Best Buy. Now, I don't know if anybody has tried to call Best Buy just recently, but did you know that in Best Buy, you actually get shipped overseas when you want to call to find out if they're open? I love you too, my brother. It's my baby brother. I love you. Thank you, brother, for the support. I sure appreciate you. Sure appreciate you. I was about to say I sure needed it. I ain't gonna lie. I ain't lying. I needed it. Thank you, baby. I love you too. But the deal is that that's what these folks are doing. They are sending the jobs overseas. Now, one of my sons was here not long ago visiting, and he ordered something from I think it was the pizza place, Domino's Pizza. Do you know that they messed up his order and they sent him across the seas just to talk to somebody who had to send him back here? Have you guys noticed that? Has anybody noticed that when you call Best Buy, you're going overseas? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. So let me go ahead and give this part to you for Best Buy. The Best Buy CEO, Corey Berry, highlighted the growing problem with theft at its stores back in November of 2021. The big box retailer sells very high value gadgets, including computers, televisions, and phones, many of which are smaller in size, but they're high in value, making them prime targets for the shoplifters. Barry said organized retail crime groups would steal entire shelves of high value products like electronics to resell them at discount prices. Quote, "This is traumatizing for our associates and it's unacceptable," he said. "We're doing everything that we can to try to create a safe environment, as safe environment as possible." They implemented measures like locking up products and hiring extra security staff to minimize theft and protect staff and customers. But the outlet revealed that it would be closing down 20 large format stores this year as consumer spending slowed and losses increased. And the retailer is planning to close an average of 20 stores each year going forward. Man, now I remember what I was going to tell you. Okay, so you see, they just mentioned again the online shopping. Okay, now I don't know whether you guys know it or not, but maybe there's somebody here who's also in the past worked in retail. Hey, Drea, some people who have worked in retail. Here's what it is: they give the discounts online, but the discounts, deep discounts, are not available in the store. So even if you live down the street from one of these stores, you're not going to get the discount. You're going to have to go to online to get the cheaper price. But if you're a person who needs it today, then you're not going to go. You're just going to go to the store. You're not going to go do it online. But that's what they're doing. They are literally showing competition between themselves. And believe me, this started when I remember it started, it was like 2017. I was working retail at the time and I was in management. And one of the stores, I kept looking at the discounts and I'm like, wait a minute, why are we giving such deep discounts there and people aren't coming in? So you got people just standing around, do 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 do. Well, yeah, they did that. That was part of the purposeful piece that I was talking about. Hey, Rage Against the Machine, Chat GPTA. I just wait a minute. Has AI has just about took over. People are talking to Chat GPT and don't know it. Hoo-wee. All right, let's go ahead and get to the rest of this because I want to let you guys go to bed. I don't want to have you all hanging out late at night with me. It says that here that they are going to close the 20 large format stores a year. Look at this. There you go. And you got people literally listen, if y'all work in an environment like this, please do not get out here and try to stop these people. Don't get out there and do that. Leave them folk alone. Let them take that stuff that is so insured. This is a guy looking here like they're about to play football. They're squaring up. This guy has a badge on for Best Buy. Leave them people alone. Don't get in there. Go get out of there. Get out of there. Don't do it. Don't do it. Yeah, don't do it. It's not worth it. Your life. Your life. Okay? Your life is important, and they can't replace that. And they won't. They'll just say, oh, he was a nice guy, but he did break the policy because we told them not to go out there and chase anybody for anything. So Bed Bath & Beyond's troubles extend beyond shoplifting, with the ailing retailer set to close hundreds of stores as demand for its homewares evaporates. The retailer, which once owned more than 1,500 stores across America, has identified at least 416 of its U.S. stores for closure. The company has suffered through a tumultuous few months in the lead up to its latest decision, including massive losses, the death of its CEO, and an activist investor selling a huge stake in the company. It struggled as sales plunged, and it reported $358 million net loss in net loss in the first quarter of 2022. Despite owning 953 locations across North America just a year ago, by the end of 2023, there will only be 360 flagship Bed Bath & Beyond stores in America, alongside 120 Bye Bye Baby locations. The state that will be hit the worst is California, which will see 35 stores close, while Florida will lose 21, New York will lose 23, and Illinois will lose 18. Wow. 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 What about the folks who were just walking out of the stores with all the groceries? Do you remember those folks? Just running out the stores with the groceries in their basket, just running out the store with the televisions. Hey, Rico 5377. Yeah, just running out the stores with all their stuff. Yeah, that's right. Just running. No, I really wish that we could see this, but I'm going to go on ahead and put the video up, and it's got some. I did cuss. I said the HE double hockey sticks. So there's a cuss word in it for those of you who don't want to listen to it. Hey, Josiah. Hi, Auntie. Hi, baby. So there's one in there. So if you guys, all the members that are here, I'll go ahead and upload it for you guys, and then we'll take it down maybe in the next day or so. Maybe I'll keep it up. I don't know. But I will tell you that it is going to be for members only because I know I'm not going to be able to play it here. So as soon as I'm done, I'll upload it because it's already finished. But the problem is I was so hot and so upset at what I saw. People literally having no regard for other individuals. People with absolutely no respect for other people. That is not good. It's not nice. And it's just I don't know. I don't know. We're headed somewhere. And we all know where we're headed, but this right here, this is a different kind of freaky. This kind of behavior is almost like who put something in your water, Cheerios, cereal, your ho-hos, donuts, your Kool-Aid. Somebody put something somewhere. All that sugar you eat. Somebody did something to somebody, because the stuff that I'm telling you is going to be on this video for the members. You guys will see it. People with no brains, Maureen says. You're not joking. It is absolutely atrocious, the things that are going on that's being allowed to happen. And here's what I don't understand: how and who allows illegal laws to be brought in? I mean, we're seeing it now from the highest level all the way down. We're seeing it all the way from, well, don't patrol the don't worry about the border. Don't worry about the border. Don't worry about the border. There's another story that I had here, and it's sort of sketchy, because they say that they need to do a little bit more investigation into it. But there's another trend that's going on, and again, I'm gonna take it home and put it on the black folks, because I'm talking about the black women that's going across the water, going into Mexico, going wherever they going, into that direction, coming to get a BBL, going to get a BBL, and we got enough butt. What do we need more butt for? It don't matter who you are. If you got butt, you don't need any more. Why are they going to Mexico? Why are they doing this? But they're going to Mexico. Some people are coming back. Some people are not coming back. Some people are going and coming back without a kidney. Some people are going and having all kinds of accidents. Hey, thank you and welcome. St. Joshua's Fig Farm. I love figs. Thank you for becoming a member. Figs are my favorite fruit, actually, and they're the hardest to get anymore. Joshua's Fig Farm. I love it. Thank you for becoming a member, and welcome. Welcome, welcome, welcome. But it bugs me. That bothers me. Seeing all that other stuff, that stuff bothers me. But what's going on right now is that there was a woman and three of her friends, and you guys may have seen this story. A woman and three of her friends. Rico, did anybody see this? A woman and three of her friends go over to Mexico last month for her to have a tummy tuck, and they get ambushed. And it's a heck of a story. Let me just give it to you. Okay, yes, this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna read it here. Okay. I may or may not make a video of it now that I can just read it to you. Here we go. Are you ready? Within minutes of riding into Mexico in a rented white minivan last month, Latavia McGee knew that she was lost. She and three of her closest friends had driven from South Carolina to Matamoros in the state of Tamaulipas. Tamaulipas. Yeah, you know what I mean. So that she could get a tummy tuck procedure. It was a journey that she had made once before as a part of a wave of American women seeking cosmetic surgery across the border. But this time, she was running late, she had no phone service, and she had veered off course. Ms. McGee recalled in a recent interview. She said that she was struggling to remember where the clinic was supposed to be. Also, in the wayward van were Zendel Brown, Shahid Woodard, and Eric Williams, old companions with whom she had grown up in South Carolina. That morning in Mexico, they had been enjoying one another's company, Ms. McGee said, as Mr. Brown, the best of the Spanish speakers in the vehicle, who spoke the best Spanish, asked strangers for directions. Then gunshots rang out, and the friends found themselves caught in the crossfire of a Mexican cartel. Mr. Brown, 28, and Mr. Woodard, 33, would be killed, and Ms. McGee, 34, and Mr. Williams, 38, would spend 4 days in captivity with the dead bodies of their friends beside them. The deadly encounter drew international attention, highlighting the relentless violence that the Mexican government has failed to contain and bringing the Republican criticism of the Biden administration for not doing enough to confront cartels across the border. Though the episode is still being investigated, officials have said that they believe the friends were taken by mistake. They say that criminals in Mexico do not usually target Americans. And 2 days after Ms. McGee and Mr. Williams were released, five bound men were found by the American authorities with a letter purportedly from a powerful cartel blaming the people who were bound up for the attack against the Americans. The two survivors are only now beginning to speak publicly about their ordeal as they continue to cope with the physical and the emotional aftermath, which has left Mr. Williams using a wheelchair. In an interview with the New York Times, they described confused captors as well as gutsy escape attempts before they were released. And they provided more details about what drew them into Mexico because you see, Ms. McGee, who lives in Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, first had cosmetic surgery back there in Matamoros about 2 years ago. She said that, and she was returning for another procedure. She saw it as a form of self care. After having six children, she says, it wasn't that I was self conscious because I always thought I was beautiful. I wanted to do it, so I saved my money and I went. Now, after roaming through Matamoros with her friends on the day of the appointment last month, Ms. McGee was ready to head back to Brownsville, Texas, when a car cut them off. From the back seat of the van, Mr. Brown insisted that he had seen a gun and urged his friends to flee. Ms. McGee recalled. Mr. Williams, who was driving, said that he did his best to escape as shots rang out, throwing his arms around Ms. McGee in the passenger seat to try and protect her. In the violent, noisy blur, each of the four friends either tried to run from the minivan or was pulled from it. Mr. Williams and Ms. McGee both recall this. Then, in a moment that was captured by a bystander's video and shared widely on social media, the four were loaded into the bed of a white pickup truck. As the truck began to pull away from the scene of the shooting, Ms. McGee was the only one of the four who had not suffered any major injury. She and Mr. Williams, who had been shot in the legs but remained conscious, decided that she would try to escape and find help. So she jumped, she said, and she ran toward a fence with a gate. But when she got to the gate, it was locked, and the fence was too high for her to climb. The assailants forced her back into the truck and beat her, she said. The four Americans were then taken somewhere and accosted by more men with guns who threatened them and asked them if they were in the drug trade. The response from Ms. McGee, as she recalls, was, "No, we came for surgery." Confusion seemed to creep in as their captors consulted with one another. Some of the assailants told Ms. McGee that she would be released, she said. Still, the threats and the beatings continued. The four were taken to a sort of clinic where Ms. McGee said that she saw both Mr. Brown and Mr. Woodard appear to be lifeless. All I could see, she says, is their heads and their dreads hanging off the bed. And all I could do was cry. Mr. Williams, who had then been stripped, said his injured legs were hastily stitched up. The two survivors and their dead friends' bodies were removed again to a place where they were surrounded by about a dozen other captives who looked as though they had been badly beaten as well. Now, the surviving friends languished there for about 2 days, Ms. McGee said. They prayed together and they took turns feeling hopeless, each asking the other to relay loving messages to their spouses and children. Eventually, they were driven to yet another location where Ms. McGee said again she tried to escape. She managed to grab the phone of a guard who seemed to be incapacitated and dialed 911 repeatedly. Each time she said nothing to the operator. She said for fear that the cartel might be listening. But she hoped that the police would come if she kept dialing. Her last attempt to flee came after she spotted an empty vehicle outside of the place where they were being held. Finding the keys inside, she hauled Mr. Williams into a vehicle with her and hit the accelerator. Rough terrain slowed her down, she said, and then she was spotted and bullets flew again. She was taken back to the room with the bodies. Not long after that, the police arrived, according to the Mexican authorities. Ms. McGee and Mr. Williams and their slain friends were found on the morning of March 7th in a wooden shed surrounded by farmland on the edge of Matamoros. A couple of hours later, the two survivors were in the custody of U.S. officials. A full story. The full story, the author of this piece says, the full story of what happened to them in Mexico remains unclear, and many details of their account could not be verified. Since the kidnapping, Mr. Williams has undergone surgery to repair his legs and is unsure when he will be able to walk again. He and Ms. McGee are grieving the loss of their friends, whom they described as supportive and sweet. Ms. McGee says, I'll never be the same. I'll never be okay. Now, cartel violence is distressingly common in Tamaulipas, one of the 6 Mexican states that the State Department warns Americans to avoid because of the crime. Even so, women cross the border from Brownsville, Texas, every day to visit the clinics that are in Matamoros offering liposuction and cosmetic procedures such as tummy tucks and Brazilian butt lifts. While her path across the border was risky, it was also well worn. Experts who track the practice known as medical tourism say that tens of thousands of U.S. residents, most of them women, make the trip every year in the search of body sculpting operations that are cheaper than what they can find at home. Despite the experience of Ms. McGee and her companions, the trend shows no sign of slowing. Sometimes Ms. McGee, her phone still rings with notifications from the cosmetic surgery groups that she joined years ago on social media, where women continue to post about their plans for procedures in Mexico. Now, I don't know about you, but I think that America has really lost the idea of what is important. Well, there's another woman that was in that story. I had to divide the stories out because they had so many stories that were sort of going together. I sort of chunked them up and put them together based on the story itself. But it's definitely a fact that with all the long weave, baby, you know I can put on a wiglet. I'll tell all of y'all, go get yourself a Saturday friend. Put a friend on for Saturday if you want to look a little spicy. You want to put on something. Nothing wrong with a nice little wig. But when you have hair that's all the way down to your kneecaps and you're running around acting like a hyena, like the woman on that video that we're going to see on the private video, there's a problem with the mindset of Americans, especially Black folks today. Now, I know somebody's going to get upset. Prove me wrong, and it'll be all right. But the fact remains that the priorities are in the wrong place. You see, it's not about the butt lift. It's not about the tummy tuck. It's not about getting these tatas up so you can, let them face the sunlight. It's not about any of that stuff. But what it's about is putting things in perspective, getting your priorities in order. It's amazing when you can see these women that run around with the hair that's all the way down to the kneecaps, and they've got the BBL and their waists are all cinched, and their children have the most snotty nose and the clothes are filthy, but they got on a big piece of hair that's obviously cost them a couple of bucks. They got a butt that's cost them a couple of bucks. Whether they've gone to a party and somebody has injected silicone, or whether they did go overseas to Mexico or wherever and get the BBL done, or whether they went out to the Dominican Republic because somebody else said that's the best place to go get it. Black folk need to quit. Your priorities is all messed up. You used to stand out in line for shoes 12 and 1 and 2 and 3 o'clock in the morning on Section 8. And you standing outside for shoes, $2 and $3 and $4 and $500. Now, I can see if you said, "Hey, I bought these back in the year 2000. Now they're worth $14,000, and I did stand in line and I paid $400. But listen, I never took them out of the box. Look at the paper, it's still there. I got a buyer for 14 grand. Hey, baby, more power to you. At least you did something with it. But I ain't talking about you, brother, sister. I'm talking about the folks who have their priorities in the wrong vein. And that's most Black folk right now here today. And I'm saying it because it is the truth. It is the truth. Our priorities are out of alignment. Kids are raggedy. Kids aren't being taken care of. You got men with your kids that's trash, but you got hair down to your kneecaps, eyelashes that look like somebody just injected two big bats on them. And I'm telling the truth. Bats, big gigantic bats. That's your priority. You know how you can tell what a person's priority is? Where they spend their money. Are you buying silver with your money now? What are you doing? What's going on? What's important? That story tells you that that lady lost two friends. And I'm going to say allegedly. Not that those people didn't pass on, but there's something to that story too. The writer was quick to say, oh, we can't confirm none of this, but we're going to tell you about it. But there's plenty of stories. There's plenty of stories that hit all over the place of people who go over to Dominican Republic, women who go over there to get their tummy tuck, or women who go over there to get their a big butt. I don't understand. Black women, all we got is thighs and butt. What are you doing? What are you doing? I just want to feel good. I just want to feel good. I'm sorry. I got to be real. Sorry. Got to be real. We need to stop it. This woman took 3 of her friends with her, and only 2 came back, her and her other friend. 4 people. 4 people entered, 2 people left. Not only that, didn't we just see another story of some folks going over there from the Carolinas, whether it was North Carolina or South Carolina? And then they just came out and they gave the verdict, and they said that there's not going to be any charges brought up with that woman who ended up going over there and some of her alleged friends. Those weren't friends. Those kind of friends, you don't need enemies. Something happened to her while she was there. Beautiful young woman. All of them have those things on, though. Beautiful young lady. Her father was distraught. Family was distraught. She went over to Mexico just to be with her friends to take a weekend off, and somebody physically assaulted her until she was gone. Now there's no charges. Well, and there's a lot of people that are upset, and I get it. But how are you going to file charges here, over there? It's not making sense. A lot of stuff that's going on right now. But I'm talking about the priorities. And I'm saying that right now, the time is out for this trash. So if there's just one person who fits the bill of what I'm talking about, and you just so happen to be coming through here, please grab a piece of what I'm saying. Not all of it. You ain't got to agree with everything I say. I don't want people like that around me anyhow. But take a piece of it and get your life together. It's not about the eyelashes, the wigs. It's not about any of that. It's not about any of that. It's not about the clothes you can put on your body. It's not about how tight you can cinch your waist. It's not about any of that stuff. You need to get yourself together. Take care of your kids. I don't care what church you go to. I don't care if you go to Church of God in Christ, Church of God. I don't care if you go. I don't care if you go to Church of Christ. I don't care if you go to. I don't care if you go to. A non-denominational. Get someplace. Find the truth. You need to get someplace, because what I'm seeing right now with Black folks across the board is very depressing, and it's very sad. And there are very few people that are saying anything that really care about who we are as humans. I hear a lot of negative. There are so many good people that are out there right now that it makes them of no effect, because you got idiots like this. Not the woman, because that's sad, but definitely like the ones that we're going to see on this private video that I'll be uploading here soon. So I've whined enough. Yeah, Drea. They go, yeah, my baby daddy. Oh boy, don't even get me on that. I watched. I'm gonna talk about. I think I'm gonna do that in the morning. What do I got to do tomorrow? What's my calendar? Ooh, if I don't have anything that I have to do pressing, I know I have a 10:30. I have a 10:30. I know it's a Zoom call, but you know what? We're gonna talk about a couple of these baby daddy issues because I'm hearing a lot of women saying how the men are so awful and the men are this and that. But sister girl, why don't you know who your baby daddy is? I got a couple of stories we're going to look at. What is going on? You got one guy, you said that's not. We're going to get into this. We're going to review this video. There is one that is heartbreaking. And I said I got to share that with the Lockhart perspective because to me, I'm going to hammer and hammer and hammer and hammer and hammer and hammer on black folk until they get it together. Until we get it together, I'm going to be hammering. Yeah, I'm going to say it. Until we get it together. Why? Because I love people. I love our people. I love people. But y'all, if the elders don't speak it, and if the elders can't say it, and don't nobody want to respect the elders, what do we got? Can't nobody else tell us how to get us together. But as long as you out here running around here acting a fool in these streets, all these tabs that I got opened up here with just ignorance, 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 ignorance after more ignorance. Oh well, get your popcorn, baby, because I'm going in. And we're going to talk about these baby daddy situations. I don't understand how a woman can have two DNA tests with two cats standing there and neither one of them is the father. Oh, yeah, we're going to talk. We're going to talk. We're going to talk. And then everybody got to chip in on the food stamps and the Section 8. Everybody? We wasn't there. Why we got to help pay? We got to pay for the medical. We got to pay for the birth. So we the baby daddy. You don't know me either. He ain't paying. He ain't paying. He ain't paying, but you don't know who it is. One lady had 3 tests. None of them was a daddy. We're going to talk about this because this is our community. And if you want to sit up here and start begging and talking about, we need reparations. What we going to give, you run around here acting like a crackhead. How we going to give you reparations? Why? What you going to do with it? Big bets. All right, you guys. Nothing wrong with loving your people enough to tell them the truth. That's right, Drea. I'm done with it. I can't do it again. I can't do it anymore. I can't just sit back and not say nothing or say it nicely. There ain't no nice way to say this. This lady literally ran people over and rolled out the parking lot and flipped the car. And that, my friends, was not an act. That was not an actor. She literally got out laughing as if she were demonic. It was a demonic laughter. It was demonic laughter. It was unbelievable. But I'm going to talk about it and I'm going to stay on our necks until we start to see some improvement because this right here is not necessary. It's not necessary. You don't want nobody to call you the N-word. You want to believe that all your life matter. Don't nobody else's life matter, but your life matters. Everybody want to talk about the slave ships and how all the slavery stuff was done. Please don't come to me with that trash. I don't even want to hear that. That ain't got nothing to do with how you acting right now today, tearing up your own community, you dodo birds. And I'm not talking about the people that they plant in the communities to tear them up. I'm talking about you. Yeah. All right. I've ravaged enough. Okay. I've ranted enough. We've gone through the rampant theft that's causing those stores to close. And we've already looked at some of the circumstances. Oh, yeah, I know they are. I know they are. We keep our eyes on them. Oh, yeah. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. I love you, Charlie. I love all of y'all. But I'm going to tell you right now, you guys, there's a lot of things that are going on and we're going to talk about it. So listen, I want to thank each and every one of you guys for hanging out with us tonight. Thank you so much. I had to come out here, at least talk to you guys an hour about that. But I'm definitely going to come on. I do have a call tomorrow at about 10:30 our time here. And then I think I have another client call maybe like midday afternoon. But we're going to talk about this ultra baby daddy issue. Okay? We're going to talk about this. We're going to talk about, maybe I'll go ahead and pull some of the stuff that I got on CERN just recently. I see some more people are talking about it because, you know, I love anything that's dealing with that type of stuff because it helps me understand what's going on. See, here's what we're going to put some pieces together. Let me just take one more minute. Can I just have one more minute every time? I'm going to take one more and I promise I'll be off. But what I believe is going on is those portals are opening. They are doing things and they are bringing stuff in. And as you can see, the different things shifting, you see everything dealing with the moon, everything dealing with stars, everything dealing with anything that's out there, right? And they're bringing other stuff in. These are some of the things that in tandem with what people are doing on their own, these things are all colliding. So we're seeing that big collide. We're seeing a collide. Stuff is colliding. Things are colliding, and it's because of what's going on in the atmosphere. If you was already little, not so together, and you end up being involved with some of this stuff right here, all of this stuff right here, all this other stuff that's going on in the atmosphere is going to cause people to just trip out. You're going to see people doing all kinds of crazy stuff. You talk about the purge. People gonna be in their houses shuddering because these folks is about to lose their mind because they are of their father, the devil. Hey, Studio Mansion, how's it going? Oh, yeah. Oh, definitely. Lots of them. The real life matrix. That's absolutely right. Hey, Mike, how have you been? This thing right here, these people are going to act a whole lot crazier. And it's going to be a crazy, crazy mess. Trust and believe that. So I'm going to go ahead and get off now and let you guys go to bed. But yeah, that part. I'm going to upload this video for you guys first right quick. All right. So you guys, we always say here that man shall not live by bread alone, but by every word that proceeds out of the mouth of the Most High. You guys take care of yourselves. And then I want you, after you take care of you, because right now we got a whole bunch of crazy young folk that's trying to hang on to mama and daddy, cousin and auntie them. All right. And you see what they're doing. So take care of yourself first. All right. Cut people off and take care of you. Because these folks right here, they don't care about you. Not the ones that's sucking and sucking and sucking all your life. Take care of yourself first. And then you can reach around and take care of those who need your help, who appreciate your help, who want you, and who reciprocate. And until you and I see one another again, make sure you take care of my friend. And that's you. We'll see each other again real soon. Be blessed. To receive instant notification each time I upload, please hit the subscribe button and the bell notification.
Helping you along the way, helping you to make it through another day.